Okay, we're back for the Miami Wrestlemania commentary video, and pretty much this is day 2. We stayed at the Fleabag Inn, and now we're heading to the airport to pick up Steve. He was, no, sorry, not Steve, Luke. He was, uh, he obviously came in a day late. He was actually camping out in at the airport all night. We saw him on Twitter. He had no ride to. I guess he missed the shuttle or the train. Something went totally wrong. So here we were. We only stayed at this hotel for one night, and then we would go to the airport, pick up Luke, and then go to our original hotel for the whole weekend, which was right in downtown Miami for the WWE Platinum Package holders. It was the Hilton, I believe it was called, and great hotel. You'll see it after, but we had a lot of, well, at least I did. I bought a big case of water. I can't live without water, so I'm lugging around this big water thing. Steve said, "Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom." And here me and Miguel are, we're just sitting there waiting for Steve. Steve legitimately ditched us to go to the bathroom. And I remember there was a guy who was sitting beside Miguel and he was drawing something. And then we looked across where we were sitting, and Primo and Epico were doing an autograph signing. And they asked us, "So, do you want an autograph? We have like a whole bunch extra." So there I am talking about it there. That's where they were signing. And they had a bunch of those access papers. And that guy you can see beside Miguel's writing something. And I don't. He said something to me. I just can't remember what it was. But anyways, Steve told us this is where me and Luke are, and we all went. And I asked Steve. I called Steve right out on the spot. I'm like, "Steve, how was your dump?" And he, "What are you talking about?" And then, so this is the big click gathering for the first time, all four of us, and Luke in his WrestleMania 26 hat, like always, repping it up old school style. And this was we took the train or the shuttle to the rent-a-car place, where we would then take that car and go to our hotel, obviously. And this is the train ride, and Luke's telling me, he's like, "Dude, like when that train stops, that water thing's gonna fall." And I'm like, "I don't think so." And it was just talking. I guess this is really the first time we talked. Well, this is the first time I saw them for almost a whole year. Those and they saw each other during SummerSlam, so it wasn't too long. But first time in Miami for me. I'm not sure about the other two, three guys. And I guess I didn't film. Luke has the bagels in his hand because Steve's like he like hijacked the whole continental breakfast that the Miami hotel had, and he gave Luke a bagel. And we were all able to fit inside this car. You can see between Luke's legs are his suitcase, because we weren't able to fit all four of us. Only three fit in the back, and there was one carry-on bag and then one full-size luggage in the back seat in between myself and Luke. Even though it should have been Miguel sitting in the back, but because I'm the bigger person, I should be in the front. But hey, I ain't complaining. It was 2 years ago. I got over it sooner or later. So here we are. I think Steve's putting on his 30-second wrestling tunes. And yeah, definitely riding to something that Steve has to fist bump to. And Luke in his Hitman glasses, which I later tried on, and did a great classic impression of Bret Hart. So we're leaving the airport, heading to the Platinum VIP or Platinum Package Holders Hotel. And here, this is the rent. Yeah, so Steve goes up with this lady, that lady who was in there. And he's like, "Oh, you think I can make this car hit like 60 or 80 or something?" You guys use miles, but he made like this outrageous number. And she just gave him that dead stare, like, "We're gonna trash the car and when it comes back." And yeah, you can see Luke's about to give birth to a baby and with a bagel in one thumb. Just on our way to the hotel right now. And yeah, I'm surprised. Must have been really uncomfortable for him. So here we are. See, what we had to do was, three of us were the package holders, so I checked in because it was in my name, and Steve and Miguel were there. And we would go up to our rooms, and we texted Luke that we're at this thing, so come up in about 2 or 3 minutes. So there was the main lobby, and then you go up, and I think this is our floor anyway. It was a nice hotel anyway, really big, really luxurious. And this is just an inside joke between me and Jay. I don't know why I filmed that. We're walking to our room. I'm pretty sure at this time we texted Luke what room we were in and told him to wait about 5 minutes. before he comes up in case any trouble were to brew. And like I said, like, this is just the walk to our room. Like, this shows you how big this hotel was. Just full of wrestling fans, really. Like, you would go before a show or after a show and you'd look in that lobby and it would be full of just Cena shirts, Bryan shirts, any kind of shirt you can imagine. Like, just full of wrestling fans. Now, compared to the Duluth, Georgia hotel that we were in last year, this was 5-star plus. It was like, damn, like, this place is like amazing. You can see we're all marking out over the room like, oh my god. And then so everyone starts filming around and we all make our territory. Like, here I'm going to be sleeping here, Luke's sleeping here, Steve got his own bed. Here's the view from the window, and of course Miguel's hogging the whole window. So I think I decided to go film the bathroom after this. But the view on the right side, it was great. You got the nice view of the ocean, and then you got a tall building. And I guess I was got a lamp. I don't know why I'm filming that. Just filming the table, filming the TV. I don't think we turned the TV on once. Or maybe Miguel did since he was homesick on the Sunday. And I was looking for the iron for my Access suit. And here I am getting the bathroom because everyone else is too busy filming everything inside the room. Got an old selfie going on. And pretty much at this time, Luke hasn't even showed up yet. He must have gotten lost. And I think here we're just deciding, oh, where are you going to sleep? Where is this guy going to sleep? And there's Luke. So look at that classic videography by me. The old peeping hole. Here's Luke with a big smile on his face. And Luke, I guess, was, yeah, Luke tagged along. He went to WrestleCon, Wrestle Reunion, Hall of Fame, Wrestlemania, but there was one, I think it was that night, he didn't go anywhere. I think he just stayed in the hotel because we were going to ROH later that day and he didn't want to go, so I'm not sure what he did that day. I should really check up on that. And this newspaper I still have. They were giving it in the main lobby. Took a couple, kept one. I don't know who has the other one. And pretty much that newspaper was full of everything. Like a WWE newspaper is what that was. There was Access articles, Brock and Cena articles, and Undertaker and Triple End of an Era. Everything that was like a wrestling fan's dream newspaper. And here we are now. I'm pretty sure we're gonna go pick up Kevin and then head to ROH. And this was, we were going to South Beach. This was, I guess, the way to get there. Very nice view. It was like when you pictured what Miami would look like when WrestleMania would be here. It's this. Well, of course the traffic was bad, but I think we saw Russo. There was a guy in his more. There he is. What was you do? And it was Miguel in his Russo voice. He was blocking traffic the whole way. And weather was great. Can't tell you, like, out of everywhere. Like, Georgia was a little bit chilly. Like, I was wearing jeans and a jacket, but there wasn't a day in Miami where I was not in shorts and t-shirt every day. And I'm assuming there's it took us a while to find him also. I think he gave us, I don't know if it was the wrong address or he was like, yo, I'm waiting outside, where are you guys? And we're like, we're right in front of your place. And he definitely was nowhere to be seen. And you can't miss a guy like Kevin. So Kevin's right on the beach. Great location. And the trip, ROH was in Fort Lauderdale, which was, I think it was about 30 to 35 minutes. And with Miami traffic, that's like an hour. Kevin had the Briscoe Brothers headbands. We all got one. There he is, Kevin, shaking his head. Steve just rocked that right away. As soon as he got it, he just put it on, put his hat right over top. And we did the ROH prediction video, I think, after, because there was a meet and greet. You can see in the shade are the ROH wrestlers. There's Miguel meeting Jay and Mark. Pretty sure they were talking about football. It was me meeting Kevin Steen. And I bargained with him too, like the brown man inside me. He was like, I'm charging $20 for, or it was $10 or $20, something like that. I'm like, listen, buy one, get one half off. What do you say? He's like, okay, that's fine. I'm like, good. And this is the classic. Steve gets in a fight with the world's greatest tag team because ANX gave him a free picture, so he assumed that the world's greatest tag team gave him a free picture. And nope, they wouldn't budge. And at the time, we thought that old guy was just the head of security. Turns out that is Joe Koff, the guy who's like in charge of Ring of Honor. I'm like, man, like it took me 2 years to figure out who that was because I watched it back. I'm like, that ain't no security guard. That's Joe Koff. Like, no wonder Charlie Oz looks pissed. And I'm meeting Eddie Edwards there. And that security guard, big old tough guy there, he sees Kevin filming, see him give him the dead stare. He walks over, hey, you can't film that, buddy. These guys are too big of superstars. Fuck off. Here we are at ROH, our seats. We got LV, and I think Nightmare Balla was with us. True Slayer, yeah, there's Nightmare Balla. Gilbert, classic. And who else? There's True Slayer, the legend himself. And this was the first time we met everyone. And this guy, this goofball over here, told me that I can't have my Canadian flag on. I'm like, why not? And he's like, pay-per-view rules, you can't do that. Maybe when Lance Storm comes out, since he's Canadian and all. I'm like, I guess. This was, I think during intermission. I don't know why I didn't film during the show. But the final countdown came on, classic ROH, Daniel Bryan's theme song. The crowd was going yes, even on Friday. So it just shows you what was meant to come. World's Greatest Tag Team comes out. Charlie gets stuck in the apron. And I guess he saw Steve because he flipped him the bird right there. Boom, middle finger all to all of us. This match was great during the whole $2 Shades. Just heckling both those guys the whole time. And this was La Revenja, Kevin Steen versus El Generico. I think it was a last man standing match was what the thing was. And this was, I guess, during the feud where Kevin Steen and Jim Cornette did not like each other all that much. Kevin Steen started ripping that sign must have been so much effort must have been put into that sign, and Kevin just rips it in half, spits on it. And this was one of the big spots of the match, which happened right in front of me. Got a piece of the action also. You guys later found out that this tope, or whatever you want to call it, suicide dive or front overhead sunset flip over the top, was table broke into pieces. And I leaned over and I just picked up a piece of that table like the mark I am, and later got Kevin Steen to sign it. Had many chances to get El Generico to sign it, but I never had the table piece with me. And it was cool. Everyone just started gathering around. Like, I remember there was guys sitting on like the third or fourth row. Next thing I know, they're standing right beside me. I'm like, how the hell did you get up here? I'm like, get back in your seat. I'm like, there ain't room for both of us here. It was crowded in the front row during this match because they were brawling on the outside, and people just walked over like it's, I don't know, like it's a free game over here. And this guy in the Daniel Bryan shirt, he was, last year he was filming for some documentary he was doing. And he always gets some good footage. Kevin Steen kissed him. And this was the main event. Honestly, I don't even remember this match. I'm sure it was fine. It looks okay. It looks like they're kicking each other pretty hard. But from what I remember, I don't remember anything. This is like just a total blur. I have no idea what's going on. Who is that? See, it's different. I know he's white because that white hand. It might be Phil. It might be Steve. No, it's definitely Phil. Phil's talking about something meaningful, I'm sure. This was after the show. We all decided to go to some bar and sports bar, I guess it is, which was not too far. First, we went to a TGI Fridays, I think, and they were booked solid. Like, they were booked hard. Like, a lot of people were there. And then we ended up going to a Tailgaters, it was called. And here we are. I don't know how many of us were there. There you can see Big Rat, True Slayer. I don't know who that is beside Big Rat, and then you got another guy beside True Slayer. I think that's Trademark beside True Slayer. And then LV, Brandon. There's Brandon. And then Steve, myself, and Miguel. And this is where these Irish guys, I never forget this. The waitress came, and oh yeah, there's Phil also. One of the waitresses came up to Steve, and she's like, "Oh, it's your family. They said it's an emergency." And Steve answers the phone. He says hello. Kevin's there too. Steve says hello, and then he doesn't say anything, and then he just hangs up the phone. And then he answers again. Like, then 2 minutes later, we're like, "Oh, what happened?" He's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." Then 2 minutes later, they call again, and they give him the phone again. And it turns out that these people have no lives that they would go out of their way, because I guess one of us tweeted where we were. And they found the number, and then they called, they asked for Steve. I'm like, man, these guys will do anything to ruin a trip. But I thought it was... I was drunk at this. Not drunk, but I was pretty buzzed at this point. And Trademark was really tired. And I think pretty soon he was just... I think he was like, I was on his shoulder and he was on my shoulder. We were just napping together until we got back to the hotel. And... yeah, and I heard that later on, there's Luke, we got back to the hotel, and Luke told us that the Irish guys, or whoever it was, called our room also, so we unplugged the phone so they wouldn't call again. He was watching, well, I guess he was jacking off as he shows there. He said he was watching, what's the name? The Adam Sandler movie, Jill and Jack and Jill, I don't know what it's called. But here I am praising Phil, my new best friend at the time. Just met him, I'm like, Phil, man, buddy, I love you. He's a honorary member of the clique. I thought to myself, like, let's not get carried away right now. But this was Friday night. It was a good time. And the best was yet to come because we had Wrestle Reunion the next day, Wrestlemania the day after that, Raw the day after that, and then we would go home. So 2 days down of this trip, 3 more to go.